Be wary of the house decorator. I don't know where he came from, and I've never seen him before in my area. A couple of months ago, I stepped out of my house and a ragged man was next to my car and he shook my hand.
Hello. I would like to decorate my living room with your letters of unpaid house bills,
He told me. There was something about his voice which made me weak, and he simply walked off. After that first meeting, I got a call from my boss, and he sounded a little strange, like he was being controlled.
Hello, Martin. I'm firing you because you need to start receiving letters about unpaid house bills, so that the decorator can put it up on his living room walls.
My boss told me. I tried calling him back and got nothing, and when I took my company to court for unlawful dismissal, the judge seemed like he was being mind-controlled, and the same with the lawyers. The judge told me that it was for a good reason that I had been fired, so that I could start receiving letters about unpaid house bills for the decorator to decorate his walls. Any job I applied for, they would all reject me for the same reason, which is that I needed to start getting letters about unpaid house bills for the decorator's living room walls. As I couldn't find another job, I started receiving bill payments for water and heating, mortgage, electricity, and tax, which all quickly added up. Then those letters disappeared, and I got a letter from the decorator which read, "I have received enough letters from you about your unpaid house bills, which look nice on my living room walls." I was finally able to get a job, but then the decorator randomly met up with me at a supermarket, and he said,
My front room walls will look nice, with newspaper clippings that are about the death of your family.
And then he simply walked away. I contacted the police and told them everything, but they simply told me,
Of course your family needs to die, because the decorator needs newspaper clippings about your murdered family for his front room wall.
I'm so terrified. I'm so happy and relieved that I received a death threat letter. A couple of months ago, I received a life threat letter, and this is what the life threat letter read as followed. I'm going to bring you back to life where you'll be forced to pay bills constantly. Bills like water bills or electricity bills, energy bills, food bills, rent bills, and bills just to stay alive. I'll force you back to life where you'll be drowning in debt with bills. As I read that, I couldn't believe that I was dead, because only people that are alive receive death threats, and so logically people that are dead must receive life threats. To be forced back to life where I must do all the things that living people do was nauseating and made me tremble. Why would this stranger be so cruel to bring me back to life and back into this rat race? Then I received another life threat letter, and it read as follows. I'm going to bring you back to life where you'll be forced to get a soulless job that you'll hate, where you work with a terrible manager and equally depressed but nice coworkers, but they too will be the same situation as you. You'll get up in the morning feeling like weights are on top of your body. You'll be dreading all of the times that you're on your days off and will be constantly worrying about work. The commute to work and back will be just as horrible. I will enjoy bringing you back to life. I started to shout and cry at the thought of being brought back to life. Why would this horrid person do such a thing to me? Why can't he just let me rest in peace? Then another life threat letter came to me, and it read, I will bring you back to life, and you will be among shallow and fake people. You'll go to parties that'll increase your anxiety, and you will be among people that'll force and pressure you to live a certain way of life. They will make you feel horrible about yourself. I couldn't take it anymore. I was trapped. Then at the last minute, this person sent me another letter, which read, Sorry, I accidentally sent you a life threat letter, and this was supposed to be a death threat letter. I'm going to murder you and then feed you to the dogs. I was so relieved and happy that instead of this person bringing me back into this rat race of life, he's instead going to help me escape it. I don't really understand why I'm not funny. Nobody ever laughs at my jokes, and I've always dreamed of becoming a comedian, but I guess I have to let that dream go. Here are 3 examples of how I found out I wasn't funny. Last week I told a guy this joke. I like my Oreos like I like my victims, drowning. And I started laughing my head off, but he wasn't laughing. He was just begging me to let him go. But I told him many times that someone has paid me to kill him, and I decided to throw him over the bridge, which is the main reason why I told him that particular joke. The second person I told the joke to was this one. You know, it's only considered murder if there's a body. Otherwise, it's just a missing person. And I started laughing my head off, but the other guy was just silent. I just decided to kill him because he owed money to the wrong person. Then I cremated him to get rid of the evidence, which is the main reason I told him that joke. The third person I told the joke to was this one. You know, getting murdered is the most intimate experience you're ever gonna have. I said to the lonely man with no kids or wife, I was being paid to kill him as well. He didn't laugh at all. I guess I'm just not meant to be funny. Our teacher doesn't call us by our real names, but by our future potential. I have a teacher at school that teaches a variety of subjects, and he's generally well liked, but the only strange thing about him is that he doesn't call any student by their real names, but by their future potential from his opinion. He comes in class and starts doing the register.
Potential murderer.
Teacher shouts at Colin, and Colin raises his hand because he knows it's him because the teacher always calls him by that name.
Potential burglar.
Teacher shouts out and Brian puts up his hand as he has been called that many times by the teacher.
Potential psychopath.
Teacher shouts out and Emily puts up her hand as she knows it's her because the teacher always calls her that.
Potential cannibal.
And I put up my hand because he always calls me that. He has something for everyone, from potential freak accident to potential evil genius, and I admit it was fun at first, but now I just wanted him to call me by my real name, which is Joshua. On another day, our teacher starts by doing the register as usual. He calls everyone by their potential names and not their real names. Then he calls Colin by his real name, and we were all shocked. I asked Colin why our teacher called him by his name and not potential murderer anymore, and Callan told me that the reason our teacher doesn't call him potential murderer anymore is because it's not potential anymore. It's real. Colin actually murdered someone. He murdered some homeless man because he knew it would make the teacher call him by his real name. Colin then told me to take a bite out of the dead guy by ripping some flesh out and cooking it, as it was the only way to make the teacher call me by my real name. I took a chunk out of the dead guy, and he hadn't been dead for long. I cooked it and ate it. The next day for my register, the teacher calls me by Joshua because I'm not a potential cannibal anymore, but a real one. That concludes this week's session at the Nightmare Lab. If you enjoyed this episode, click the like button and comment below. If you have your own twisted tale that you'd like narrated on our channel, submit it through the form in the description. Become a part of our sinister collective by subscribing. Be here next week for another concoction to feed the nightmare.